How much of your hard-earned money is actually making its way into your savings? If the answer isn't as much as you'd like, then I've got a story that might just change your life forever. Hello and welcome to our channel. Today, I want to share with you a story that might just change the way you think about money and building wealth. It's a personal journey that I went through. I'm confident that if you stick with me, you'll walk away with some powerful insights that could set you up for financial freedom for the rest of your days. The light bulb moment. You know, for the longest time, I always thought that getting rich was an impossible dream that will never be achieved. I would see these stories of people who had made it big, and I'd think to myself, well, that's just not me. I'm not cut out for that kind of thing. I had all these crazy ideas about what it takes to become wealthy. Things like being born into a rich family, having a high-powered career, or just being an absolute genius. But then, one day, everything changed. I was reading this book, The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason, and I came across this concept that made everything sound so simple. It was like a light bulb going off in my head, and suddenly, the path to financial freedom started to become crystal clear. The big idea that I learned that day was that wealth isn't about how much you earn. It's about how much you keep. It's not about making a ton of money. It's about making smart decisions with the money you do have. And the crazy thing is, once I understood this, it completely transformed the way I thought about money and the way I approached building wealth. Shift in mindset. You see, before this light bulb moment, my mindset was all wrong. I was mindlessly pursuing a bigger paycheck, which I thought would give me financial freedom. However, I've come to realize that this pursuit forms a never-ending cycle. A bigger paycheck isn't the key to financial freedom. But once I fixated on my mind that the key to wealth was actually about keeping more of what you earn, rather than just trying to earn more, everything changed. I started to really scrutinize my spending habits, looking for areas where I could cut back and save more. And let me tell you, it was eye-opening. I was shocked to realize just how much money I was wasting on stuff that I didn't even really need. Such stuff included exercise equipment, designer clothes, the latest smartphone, travel souvenirs, and even a gym membership to a gym that I visited just once a month. And that's when I started to develop a different mindset, one that was focused on optimizing my spendings for things I really needed. I didn't want to chase a bigger paycheck. I started to think clearly about how to make the most of the money I already had. I did eventually cancel the gym membership 2 months after that light bulb moment. Budgeting and saving. One of the first things I did was to have a close look into my budget. I sat down and took a long, hard look at where my money was going each month, and I was ruthless in cutting out anything that wasn't absolutely essential. Things like eating out, entertainment, and impulse purchases, those all got the axe. Now, I know what you're thinking, but that sounds so unfair. How can I enjoy a nice night after a hard day of working without any entertainment for myself? And I get it, believe me. But the thing is, when you have a clear vision for what you want to achieve financially, those little sacrifices become a lot easier to make. Because here's the thing, every dollar that you save is a dollar that you can invest and grow. And when you start to see those investments compounding over time, it becomes a lot easier to justify cutting back on the unnecessary expenses. It's all about delayed gratification, you know? You might have to give up a few luxuries in the short term, but in the long run, you'll be setting yourself up for a life of financial freedom and abundance. And let me tell you, once you get the budgeting thing down, it becomes a lot easier to start building up your savings, investing for the long term. But of course, simply keeping pennies isn't enough to make you a millionaire. If you really want to build wealth, you've got to get that money working for you. And that's where investing comes into play. The way I see it, there are only 2 main paths to investing success: index funds and real estate. Index funds involves purchasing a small fraction of the entire stock market, giving you exposure to the overall economic growth. With time, this could be a reliable method to build your earnings. Now, I know what you might be thinking, but what about all those people who make a killing in the stock market, picking individual stocks and timing the market? And believe me, I understand the fascination, but the reality is that kind of active investing is really, really hard to do consistently well. Most people end up losing money trying to beat the market. That's why I'm such a big believer in index funds. They're simple, they're low cost, and they've consistently outperformed the large world of money making in the long run. And the best part is, you don't need to be some kind of investing genius to make it work. You just need to be disciplined, consistent, and patient. And then when it comes to real estate, that's another area where there's huge potential for money making. The way I see it, real estate's all about leveraging other people's money to create passive income streams. You could buy a property, rent it out, and collect the monthly cash flow, all while the property itself appreciates in value over time. And the great thing is, you don't have to be a real estate maniac to succeed in this job. You could start small with just a single rental property and gradually build from there. Diversifying and passive income. Of course, once you've got your budgeting and investing strategies dialed in, the next step is to start diversifying and building up multiple income streams. Because the truth is, the more diverse your income sources are, the better your position will be financially. One of the key things I learned on my wealth building journey is that passive income is absolutely essential. How much time do you still have left to trade for money? Only God knows. At some point, you need to start creating income-generating assets that can work for you even when you're not actively working. And that's where things like rental properties, dividend-paying stocks, and even online businesses come into play. These are all ways to create passive income streams that can continue to grow and compound over time, even when you're not actively working. The importance of mindset. You know, as important as all of these practical strategies are, I truly believe that the most essential component of building wealth is your mindset. Because at the end of the day, if you don't have the right mindset, it's going to be really hard to make any of these other strategies work. And that's why I can't emphasize enough the importance of shifting your mindset to one of abundance and possibility. Instead of always focusing on what you don't have, you need to start looking at what you do have and how you can make full use of that to make more. Because the truth is, there's no such thing as a get-rich-quick scheme that actually works. Building wealth takes time, it takes discipline, and it takes a willingness to delay gratification. But when you have the right mindset and you're willing to put in the work, the rewards can be truly life-changing. It's like that old saying, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. And that applies just as much to building wealth as it does to any other area of life. If you believe that you can do it and you're willing to put in the work, then you absolutely can. But if you're constantly doubting yourself and focusing on the obstacles, then it's going to be a lot harder to achieve the financial freedom that you desire. So, what are you waiting for? It's time to start taking control of your financial future and build the wealth that you deserve. Who knows, maybe someday, hopefully soon, you'll be the one telling your own story on how you changed your life with a simple mindset. And if you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. That way, you'll be the first to know when I drop my next wealth building video.